Israeli policies and would endorse such an approach. So I think it should be done, and it can be done. The fact Malaysia didn't succeed in having that discussion opened in the GA shouldn't, dishearten us. It now needs to be attempted yet again. Whether it's the court or the General Assembly, we should not give up, would be my suggestion.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just inform you about some of the things that on the Malaysian side we had been doing during the turn of events after Marmara, and also when Rachel Corrie was still on its way to Gaza. The time getting news from Faisal, one of our team members on Rachel Corrie, communications was cut off quite early in the morning, and I'd also been in touch with our Malaysian Foreign Minister, Dato' Anipah Man, who happened to be in Singapore at the time, attending a meeting between ASEAN foreign ministers with their counterparts from GCC countries in Singapore. And I informed him about the latest happenings, what was happening. Of course, he had already known, he was informed about the incident on Marmara, and I informed him about where Rachel Corrie was trudging along, still heading towards Gaza. And instructions came down from the PM, from the DPM, for him to bring this up at the meeting in Singapore. Initially, there were very strong words expressed by basically all of the foreign ministers about the atrocities perpetrated by the IDF on Marmara. But then when it came to the point that the whole team, the whole group, foreign ministers representing ASEAN and GCC, to come up with a very strong statement, especially a statement that not only mirrored but was even stronger than the one coming out from the UN. The language of the statement was somewhat watered down, if I should say. Our own Foreign Minister, Dato' Anipah, took it upon himself to talk to each and every foreign minister to try to convince them that this is not the way for us to condemn such atrocities. We are not expressing regret. We must, with the strongest words possible, condemn the actions of Israel. After talking to each and every one of them, GCC countries and also ASEAN, eventually both sides agreed on a very strong statement, and that was the statement that came out into the public. I had myself, being Deputy Minister of MITI, been sent to Singapore to have some discussions with the Secretary General of the GCC on FTAs. But from the beginning of the meeting, the Secretary General, even before sitting down, congratulated Malaysia for the efforts put in convincing each and every one of the foreign ministers to agree to this very strong statement. I felt very happy about that. And he said that he was not at all surprised, because Malaysia's stance with regards to Palestine issue has been consistent from way back then. Since the first Prime Minister all the way till now, we have been very strong and unmoving in our stance to get Israel out of Palestine, basically, and perhaps even to agree alongside the Arab League for a two-state nation. So that gives you an idea about the resolve of the government. It seems to me that we have this opportunity now. Ashwat alluded to the fact that we need resources to proceed. So we have a situation where we have government now who's very willing indeed to provide perhaps the diplomatic support and what other types of support. to make this endeavor a success. We have NGOs who have been spearheading this effort. You see PGPO, we see the Free Gaza movement, and now, of course, IHH, so many NGOs on a global scale with one objective, to break the siege in Gaza. And we now want to add one more factor. Perhaps the private sector could come in to make this a tripartite effort, and that would complete it to get this endeavor, this very noble effort through and open the siege for all Gazans to enjoy the kind of support that they truly need in these dire circumstances that they're faced with right now. So that gives you a total picture about what's happening. This afternoon after lunch, we have two other sessions before the closing address by the Right Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. The session immediately after lunch is live in Gaza. A very interesting session, I would expect, to explain to you what really is happening there. Sometimes we get totally wrong picture. We think that everything is hunky-dory, but this session will further enlighten you with what is truly happening to our friends in Gaza. The next session is very important, I would think. The next steps. I think this is something that is recurring on your minds. What do we do next? How do we contribute to this? What would be effective? What are actions that would be a waste of time? So I think all of you want to know this, and I really encourage you to stay on for the afternoon session, the next step, which will be moderated by Yang Muhammad Bobahagiatun Dr. Mahathir himself. And it will be attended by not only His Excellency's several ambassadors and High Commissioners relevant to this cause, but also by Yang Amat Bahagia Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor, of course, wife of the Honourable Prime Minister. So we have very important issues to talk about, and I truly thank you, and I'd like to congratulate all of you for attending the session so far. I hope that the afternoon session will not see too much attrition, as usually happens in the afternoon session. I assure you that if you think this session was interesting, the afternoon sessions will be even more interesting. So please stay on for this very good cause. So thank you very much. Before I end, let's put our hands together for our panelists. Professor Chosudovsky, Dr. Hassan, Mr. Dennis Holliday, Mrs. Jenny Graham, and our very own Ashwat Ismail. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you to Yang Berhormat Dato' Mukhriz for moderating the session, and also to our distinguished panel of speakers for